It's mainly because oil price the oil in the conventional field couldn't keep up with demand. But however, everything has its turning point in the last quarter of 2014. However, everything has made turning point from the last quarter of 2014. The, the, the oil price has fallen down dramatically from $100 per barrel to down to nearly $50 per barrel. And this is the lowest price in the global financial crisis in 2008. And so we have a question why does oil price keep falling? And we think that there are three main reasons. The first one is about the economic reason. The second is about the politics, and the last one is the U.S. shale industry. Let's take a look at the economic reasons. You can see here is the chart of world fuel production and consumption patterns since 2010 to 2014, 15, and 16. The first, there are three, and I said that there are three main reasons, and the first one is economic reasons. The low oil consumption from Asia and Europe has led to this significant explanation for the economic reasons. More broadly, the U.S. oil production has continued to rise sharply for over 6 years, and it has bring more 2 million barrels to the global market, and it's led to the supply. You can see the line with the blue color is the world production is now higher than the red line is the world consumption. So if this situation continues, the price is falling very massively, very fast. And when prices split, observers waited to see whether OPEC will do something to stop these changes. But in OPEC, but at this summit meeting last November, OPEC did nothing. Saudi Arabia, one of the OPEC biggest producers, said that they won't cut their production and they want to keep the price low, and they want, in the hope that they will follow the U.S. shale boom. The price changes is mainly a battle for the oil market. In your paper, there is OPEC logo here. This is a battle of OPEC members and non-OPEC members. The first war is between OPEC members, and they want to have great damage to the US and the Russia petroleum industry. But nonetheless, not all members or OPEC members are involved. Although Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates want to keep the price low, but Venezuela and Iran want to have a high price to have enough money for their government revenues. In respect of political reasons, we want to focus on many observers believe that there's in-tact agreement between U.S. and Saudi Arabia. Sorry, there's some technical problems here. There's some experts believe that there's a tacit agreement between US, German, and Saudi Arabia, they both have the same competitors in oil market, such as Russia, Venezuela, and the Iran. Recently, US had led many sanctions against Russia because of the Ukraine crisis, and against Venezuela because of some of the German policies that is not so not making their so there's not diplomacy in their policies and about the Iran, because you know that their nuclear agency, their nuclear program, by increasing the production of US increasing the production, the Obama administration want to use the price of oil. I have to say that they have used this. They dispute before and they succeed. They want to force the free government to change their national policies, and they want to. The U.S. government want Russia and Venezuela have to lower their market oil share. Consequently, Russia have said that they won't cut their production, and they believe that if they cut their production, their customer will increase their domestic production, and so they will lose their market. And however, Saudi Arabia has some bad effect on their economy, but over long term, I think they will receive a huge benefit from this issue, and they will have a larger
size. Lately, we focus on how the US shale boom can affect the whole petroleum industry, especially the oil price. Despite being the oil shale does not contain oil, instead they contain kerosene, a waxy precursor to oil. And the process, given a few years of heat and pressure, the kerosene would naturally yield to oil. Depends on the depth and the heat and the pressure. The crude oil will be lighter, sweeter, or less. Well, we all know that the oil prices has plummeted recently. But the question is, why does the oil price start to plummet? Last year, 10 years ago, or 10 years later, I think the answer is opportunities. Well, we all know that the oil shale industry began at the beginning of the 20th century. It did work effectively, mostly due to lack of appropriate cheap and modern technology. And the rise and fall of this potential industry are followed by the fluctuation of the oil price. In the First World War in 1973 or crisis, the oil shale industry has been a great lucrative business for many oil companies. But nevertheless, this business quickly went to a halt when conventional supply wasn't factorized by the demand. It was not until 1990s that the process of complete fracking, a familiar technology used in oil industry, has some great achievement by the innovation of George Mitchell in fracking. In 1997, one of George Mitchell's shale gas wells had been established, and they are constructed by the combination of water, sand, and chemical mixture. They are rather more expensive than foreign gels, but they can prove that they can be financially beneficial in the long term. And we will move to the technical development. Well, the final hit that The fundamental activated shale boom was the combination of fracking and horizontal drilling. So what is horizontal drilling? Horizontal drilling is a technique that the well turns horizontally at depth, and they can prove that the oil company using this technique can bring a lot of benefits to many companies. The first, for example, the first is they can make shale gas be more productive, and next they can use to extract energy from the source that's lying in the horizon, for example, layer rock. And the next benefit is that it can be able to reach a much wider area of rock or natural gas that trapped within the rock. And the fracking drilling, well, as you can see here, the principle of this technique is very simple. At the first step, the well are bored using directional drilling, a method that allows drilling to vertical and horizontal direction. And the next step is that a large amount of water, sand, chemical mixture are injected into the well at high pressure causes fissure in the shale. And the last step, the sand flows into the fissures, keeping them open so that the oil from the shale can flow up out of the well. And up to now, in the US, the oil and the fracking drilling is very developed in the US. There are 4 million wells constructed in the US, but half of them use fracking. It's maybe the age of fracking. Yes. So, it comes to our mind that from what we can learn from these oil issues is, firstly, a new technology can significantly increase when a new technology can affect the whole petroleum industry, especially oil products, in detail or the whole world in general. This technology can affect in one way or another way, can affect the whole world economy growth as well as have some benefits and positive impact on political stability in many countries. Secondly, it's never a huge investment in researching for new technology. And we learned that it took 15 years to complete these techniques, but DOE has spent millions of dollars just to develop the oil shale industry since 1975. But what they receive after is really huge, about billions of dollars in taxes. And so, the most important thing is, no matter what advantages or disadvantages the law or prices may bring to each country, the problem is that the way how we prove them and remain a healthy economy. And so, that's all.
Yeah, you think like do you see a drop in production demand? 2014, right? This is Q1 2015, right? From year over year, Q1 2014 to Q1 2015, do you see a drop in demand or increase in demand? Look at Q1 2014, right? Look at the round curve, the consumption. Look at the consumption. So in 1 year, our consumption went down or increased. Do you understand my question?
Over 1 year's period, this gets clear.
Okay, the consumption is keep on increasing. Okay, look at the brown curve. The brown curve is going up.
I'm sorry, maybe
No. Here my question for you. Now look at the production. Blue line. Is the production going in the same ratio or is it more in the end of Q2? End of 2014, is the production more than it should be?
Yes.
So, what do you understand from the plot?
I say that the production, the supply has exceeds the demand.
The consumption did not go down. Consumption never went down. The market is producing more than it should. You look at the spike over there in the end of 2014. That's because the OPEC countries are manipulating. So can we change the oil price? Can we change the oil price now?
Can we change this screen?
On plus now.
I think we have seen that for 7 months, the price keep falling and this don't have any ability now to come up again. But you can see in 2008, just about 1 month, and the price come from $30 per barrel to $100 for just 1 month. I think that is about political
That's nasty.
reasons.
There's no other answer. It's pure political. Oil price is not paid in the market, political. If you look at the production went more than it should because of all the shale play you right. Shale play is playing the game. You have more reservoirs coming in, more exploration going in. That's why you see a sharp production decrease in up to the 14. The consumption has always been flat. So the OPEC countries, for example Saudi Arabia, do you know what the cost of production is? Cost of production. You said in your presentation, Saudi Arabia doesn't want to cut down production. Do you know what is the cost of production for that?
I have heard that, I have read that in Saudi Arabia there's about $60 to $70 to make a good oil barrel.
Right now the oil is $50, or 60 cents. The oil price is $50 right now, right? $50 a barrel. What's the cost?
That they earn from after this.
If I'm selling at 50, I'm buying it or producing it at a cost. Do you know what's the cost from Saudi? But your presentation was clear. You said the OPEC countries are controlling the oil price. Very absolutely right. That's mainly one country, which is Saudi Arabia. And you know what? I'll tell you this why. I worked there 6 years and just keep doing it. The cost to produce 1 barrel of oil in Saudi is $3. Okay? So if I'm selling at 50, I'm still making $47 profit. So I can live with $50 per barrel. And also, right, most of the countries they cannot. Like unconventional is expensive. Shale play unconventional. They said it is expensive.
They are very expensive.
Why do you think they want to continue? Saudi wants to continue production. Why Saudi doesn't want to cut down production?
Because I said that they want to throttle the U.S. oil industry together with the Russian industry.
Because the shale is expensive. Shale oil is expensive. So with this rate, shale oil cannot be used. A lot of customers don't want to.
Many share produce many share companies in America has stopped their business because of this crisis.
There was 233 rigs shut down from last month in US only because of this.
Very thank you for your.
And last bit of advice is when you do a presentation, address the audience. You need to address the audience.
Okay, thank you, group and Kiran and for this you the visual information will improve and the next group. Okay, so good evening everyone, and how are you today? And we're ready to, and we can't tell you what it is for us to be here in this program.
I'm going to anyway to tell you some new things about this industry. Because I believe that the youth sitting here today in this room has at least one time in their life wondering about how the future of what the future coming of this industry.
So today we come to present to you our topic, which is called What Next in the Oil and Gas Industry. So how can you drive? So to answer these big questions, because due to the limit of time, we need to consider just some considerations that we made for you. The first is the new technologies and the reserves growth. The second is the new challenges for oil in the transport market. And the last one is the oil security has moved to Pacific Asia. So we begin with the first one, the new technologies and the reserves growth. Okay, so many people believe that we are running out of oil and gas. I think it's not true, because if you look at this figure, you can see that the green area there is the 1980 reserve that we estimate with the limited technology at that time. But then, 30 years later, with the improvement in technologies, the total reserve has been grown rapidly, more than double. And the blue area here is the production throughout the period. So you can see that even our production is much less than the total reserve growth. So we're not running out of oil and gas soon. And the next slide I want to say is this is the global yet to find oil reserves. And as you can see on the board, we have nearly 4 trillion barrels of oil remain unseen with current technology. However, they are estimated that in the future we may, for example, we may turn up some new technology to find this oil. And you can see on the board the biggest figures come from unconventional. So I think unconventional is the future of our industry. So here's just some new technologies for producing in heavy oil or unconventional resources. I've made for you, for example, for the shale oil. Recently, past few years, hydrofracturing and horizontal drilling was a big advantages of the US lately. And we're not going to this kind of specific technologies, but we just want to give all of you the overall idea. So we move to the next. Okay, and this is our perspective. Even with no addition to the current reserve, we're not running out of petroleum in the next 50 years. And if new technologies are applied to unconventional resources, we will have enough oil for the next 100 years. Yeah. So the observations to new challenges for oil and transport market. Okay, we have the reserve are growing. However, in oil industry, we're facing with new challenges in the transport market. Which was that? As you can see, there's many cars, trucks, vehicles, buses, even boats. And this is the number of flights we take every day. So you can see that how we depend on transportations. However, transport need oil. And oil has been dominant in this transportation sectors for a long time. So, for a long time ago. If you look at this figure, you see this is the US oil percentage in transportations throughout the years. Yeah. It's pretty long time ago, right? And you can see that oil always accounts for more than 90% of the energy used in transportations. However, things are about to change because since 2005, the IEA, which is stand for the International Energy Agency, has established the so-called 450 ppm policy that every country involved in this commitment has to reduce their CO2 concentration and must not let their CO2 concentration pass the limit. Okay, here is the graph showing us the CO2 concentrations throughout the years, and we are here nearly 400. And if follow the trends, it will finally reach the 450. So there must be some policy to constrain the CO2 concentration, and that is called the 450 ppm policy. Okay, so and with another new arrival of more efficient engines and growth in renewable energy fuels, the oil and gas industry are facing with challenges. Okay, here's the car using electricity instead of oil. This is it. Okay, values of oil, oil for transport has been affected somehow. If you look at this figure, see this is the charge for oil transport of different regions. You can see this is the Western Hemisphere. This comes from Asia. You could see those opposite two trends. In the Western Hemisphere, the trend is declining sharply to more than 30% of their figure if they follow strictly to the 450 ppm policies. And you can see if the Western Hemisphere decline and the Eastern Hemisphere increase, you see the balance in the world